Okay, I want to finish up with a personal story, one that I dealt with. This was probably, it was a long time ago, it was about 15 years ago. But this is an example. You might have seen the TV show What Not to Wear. You know, I didn't watch it very often, that wasn't my flavor. But this is going to be a little segment on what not to do if you're doing an asbestos remediation. So as the home inspector, I went in and I was doing this inspection on a home, and I had mentioned that it had popcorn ceiling textures. They actually decided that they didn't want to remediate the popcorn ceiling. They wanted to just tear the house down. So they were going to start doing that, and then they found out that the county required that they remediate the stuff before they tore the house down. So the homeowner wasn't very happy about that. So he went in there and did it himself. He brought the hose and he brought his, who knows what sort of equipment he was using, whether he protected himself or not. But what started out as a whole bunch of popcorn ceiling texture on the ceiling ended up with popcorn ceiling texture on the walls and on the floor and just everywhere. And in this particular room where he had done the work, if you want to call it that, it was hard to step in any one location and not crush, you remember the term friable, and not crush some of that ceiling texture. At this point, he had gone from having a small problem to having a huge problem, because now this stuff is all over and it's going to be very difficult to get that stuff up. So the county got after him like nobody's business. And I saw where, as the years went by, he was able to eventually demolish that home and put up a new one. But, you know, something you want to be aware of is, even if there is a home that was built in 1908 and you'd like to demolish it, state laws do require that the home be freed from asbestos before it can be demolished. So you can't do it with the big knockdown. And that makes a certain amount of sense too, because if you're using a track hoe to just knock the place down and you've got all this rubble and you've got all the asbestos inside of it, you're going to be releasing millions of fibers into the neighborhood, and all those neighbors don't need that in their lungs. So moral of the story is, where you do have asbestos, it needs to be dealt with professionally. Nobody needs that stuff in their lungs. You as the realtor are now trained, not necessarily to do sampling or to do remediation, but to be able to help your client and perhaps advise your client or guide your client towards people who do know what they're doing. And it's been a pleasure working with you.